chips today. Nathan and I are playing down 18. Nathan's just flush one in there too, about 6 feet. It's looking pretty good. Mate, what's the best go with filling a divot in now? Obviously we've got some options. We can probably cut the edges in, we can sand it, we can maybe scrape up a few bits of this turf and put it in there. What are our best options to fix
So for here, particularly here, I think you see a lot of people overseas doing where they'll peel a section out and they'll replace it. I think here we wouldn't worry about replacing the turf back in there. That's once it's blown out, it's gone. So the recovery here we're really quick, particularly in summer, because the amount of growth around the outside, but all particularly underneath. We just need to fill it with sand. Make sure the sand is not too much sand. The issue with that is when you pile the sand up, then our mowers go through it and it bluntens them straight away. So having the sand at level or a fraction lower than the turf, tapping the divot down around it, filling with sand, leveling off with your foot, and that's it. And that will recover. This time of year it may recover in 2 weeks, a week and a half. During winter it's a lot longer. It's probably more important in winter to get the right amount of sand. Otherwise your ball will sit in a hole. You want to get the sand in there, but during summer they'll recover really quickly. So leave the divot that's blown out, leave that, just flatten it down around the outside, as in with your foot, just fill the sand and level it off. That's it.
That's good too. Done a great job of repairing this other divot, but I'm interested to know why we don't put the divot back in. And also what benefit the sand provides in that divot. Obviously gives us a level surface, but what other benefit that provides us? So.
Well, probably primarily it is the level surface, so the ball doesn't sit back in there. You can see this one here, the sand's been put in, it's a good amount of sand, and we can see all the new growth coming up from the bottom. So the couch grass we have here just needs, if you take a divot out and there's no leaf behind it, it will automatically regenerate and create leaf. So as soon as you put sand there, it'll want to generate new growth, it'll pop up through it, create leaf, they'll pop out and then they'll flatten out and grow. So whereas the cool season grass you get overseas don't do that. Once you take a divot out, that doesn't recover. You want to get the grass you've pulled out back in there and try and get that to recover. But here, get rid of it, this stuff will regenerate itself and away it'll go. So that's why we don't replace it.
And even if we've got a nice couch divot that's held together, is there any point in putting that back in the divot?
Because you've got to keep it wet, and if we go 2 or 3 days without water, and that divot will dry out and the grass will die.
And then that just blows away and we're left with a hole
I just leave it, fill it with sand, and you can see the recovery, and that would have only been taken maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and you can see the growth coming through that already. So that's the idea of it.
That's great.